Hello, everyone. I am Lisa Sabaniak from Life Like You Mean It, and I am hosting my free workshop today, using positive intentions in real life. So what is that all about? Who the heck am I? Um, if you don't know my story, I am a survivor of child abuse. So when I was 2 years old to the time I was 12 years old, I was abused by my then stepfather. It took all shapes and forms, that particular abuse. The one that was the hardest to get over was the emotional abuse or the psychological abuse that I endured with him. So he would love to tell me things like I was ugly and stupid and worthless and useless and nobody was ever going to love me. And you can imagine at that age how difficult that would be. You just end up believing that that is actually the truth. So going into my teen years, even though we had left him when I was 12, obviously the teen years are a really difficult time anyways, when you're trying to come into your own and find yourself, and your friendship groups change and things like that. It's also a time where you explore a lot of different things and have a lot of failures and some successes. And for me, I just had his words as my mantra. So every time something didn't go my way or I failed at something, it was always, well, of course that is what would happen because I'm useless and I'm stupid and I'm worthless and nobody's ever going to love me. So naturally, I'm not going to succeed. And even when I would find success in something, I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop, assuming that that things were going to go wrong because I was useless and worthless and stupid and ugly. You see where I'm going with this. So most people that know me now, if they never knew this person before, they would never even believe that that is what I was going through. Most of the people that knew me through that time even will say, I had no idea this was something that you had hidden deep inside. And that's really the point, I think, because so many victims of abuse, whatever that abuse is, it is a silent struggle, something that you deal with on your own, even when it comes out. For myself, for example, when my mom found out and saved me from that situation, it was still my burden. It was still my struggle, something that was very personal to me, and I didn't want to share it with other people. Of course, at first, when I was a teenager, it was because of embarrassment and shame. I thought that even though I knew I had never done anything wrong, that's kind of where my mindset was coming from. I didn't want to share this because I didn't want people to know. I didn't want them to look at me with pity. I didn't want them to look at me and have me feel shame. I didn't want people to judge or question why I didn't say something or why I didn't get out or why anything. And when I became an adult and started to become more confident with myself and make some decisions as far as my thinking was concerned, it still was just a silent burden. It's not something that you go around at a party and start to discuss, hey, guess what I survived? People just don't do that sort of thing. And that is to our detriment, right? We've had a lot of success with spreading the word about depression, for example, how it is a natural thing, that it's not somebody's fault. It's nothing that you've done, and it's nothing that you necessarily can do to just change it like that. That it is something that is out of your control and something that you need support with. And it's become normalized for us to be able to talk about something like depression. And so I came out with Life Like You Mean It as my way of sharing my story so that I can bring some sort of normalcy to it. Not that child abuse is okay, obviously not. Not that, my point is that child abuse is something that we need to be able to talk about, because if you're abused as a child, you're going to grow up to be an adult survivor of that abuse. And you're either surviving by just getting by or you're surviving it well. And the difference there is just a few key things that a lot of other people can relate to that have dealt with other traumas in their life. So if you're watching this now and you can't relate to child abuse, I'm sure that you can relate to other types of trauma. Losing a relationship, losing a loved one, maybe losing friendships and things of that nature, maybe building yourself up for a job that you really wanted and then not getting that job, maybe losing your home, or whatever it is. We've all dealt with so many different types of trauma that any one of them can be things that we end up feeling the same sort of way, that we don't want to talk about it to other people because we don't want to burden them, or we don't want to feel any kind of shame for ourselves for going through that, when the reality is that we all go through it in some way, shape, or form. And if we just talk about it with one another, it might allow us to have a lot of peace of mind. It might allow us to have some closure. It might allow us to feel like we're not the only one. So for whatever reason, for me, when I was about 19 or 20 years old and off in college, I had an epiphany, and I realized that I was living my life in a very negative way. Those words that he had said to me, I really thought were true. And I had inserted them in every facet of my life. And we had been away from him for 7 or 8 years at that time. And I all of a sudden realized that I was in control of the fact that I was letting him still be there. I was letting those words still impact me. And I started to realize that I was making decisions every single day, and those decisions weren't necessarily setting me up for success. And so with a lot of help, and a lot of time even as well, I ended up finding my way down this road of recovery that worked really well for me and allowed me to start looking at the positive things in life, start to see all of my positive traits, how strong I was to be able to survive something like that, and to look at it like that, that I had survived. I was still alive. I was still here. However many times I can look back and say, I wish I would have done this different, or I wish that would have happened. I can at least say that I'm still here. I did what I had to do to make it through it, and now I've done what I had to do to survive it well. And so now my goal is to bring this to you, so that I can help you in whatever it is that you are dealing with, whether it's actual abuse, or whether it's other types of trauma, or maybe you just find that you are really down in the dumps recently and you're having a lot of trouble kind of bringing yourself back around to the positive. So just going to share with you what I am. So I'm talking about having an ideal vision of what your life would be. So in that ideal world, you are meditating daily for 30 to 60 minutes every day. You are reacting perfectly in all situations, no matter what. You have nothing but positive thoughts and feelings going on, and you are living the life of your dreams. In reality, most of us are not finding this. Instead, we're finding we don't have any time to meditate daily or at all. What is this extra time you're talking about? We go through the motions, reacting in the moment, and then maybe reflecting later and not being so proud of the way that we reacted. We're overwhelmed on a daily basis, and we're disappointed with life not working out the way that we had expected, so not living up to our expectations. So if this is you, then I would like to point out something to you. You are worth the time. You have control over your actions and your reactions. You have the power to make better decisions. And you can have everything you feel that you deserve. And there's a key there, that you feel that you deserve. The solution is you. What I want to talk about is going to be a little bit strange for some people to kind of wrap their head around, but bear with me here. I am a scientist as well. I teach science. So my next bit about energy vibrations really is a scientific fact. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. We can only transform it or transfer it. Every single thing in our world has energy. Every single thing vibrates with energy at different frequencies. I'm talking about the chair that you are sitting on right now, the clothes that are on your back, even you. You are vibrating right now with energy. That means that our thoughts also vibrate, and our positive and our negative thoughts are going to vibrate at a different frequency from each other. When we are vibrating at a certain frequency, changing that frequency is uncomfortable. It feels even unnatural. So that means that we are going to continue to vibrate within that frequency, and we'll actually go out of our way to try to stay in that frequency. So if you're following me on this, that basically means that if you are vibrating with a negative energy right now and you're feeling stuck and you just can't move past it, there's a reason. There's an actual explanation for that. It's because that vibration is at a certain level. And as soon as you try to do something to go above and beyond that level or at any different frequency, it feels awkward. It feels unnatural. And so your subconscious is going to actually do whatever it can to keep you at that energy. That means that you are going to sabotage yourself even with the best intentions. Okay, I know it's difficult, but if you recognize that that's what's going on internally, then you can actually do something to try to change that and recognize it when it starts to come up. So when we're shifting our energy vibrations, if you're in a negative frequency, you're naturally going to do everything you can to vibrate at that frequency. That doesn't just mean sabotaging yourself. It also means you're going to surround yourself predominantly with others who are also vibrating at that negative frequency. If you think about like attracting like, right? You're doing this because it gives you some level of acceptance. It tells you that what you are doing is all right. If other people are doing this, then they are also going to be agreeing with you, right? You have some negative statements to make, they're going to agree as well, and they're going to have some other negative statements to back you up. Hopefully, this is sounding familiar. Eventually, you're going to end up feeling stuck. Shifting your energy vibrations is uncomfortable at first. This picture that I have up of clasping your fists, what I would like you to do is literally clasp your fists like you normally would, not even thinking about it. Now I want you to unwind your hands and just shift your fingers over one so that you clasp your hands slightly out of sync. It feels incredibly awkward, right? It doesn't feel like it's natural and it's normal. And that's my point. That's exactly what I'm trying to say about changing your energy vibration. Okay, sit there as long as you can. Eventually, that is going to feel normal. Okay, unclasp your hands and we'll return to that later on and see if it starts to feel a little bit more normal. And the point being that change is uncomfortable, but eventually when you do change, when you do something long enough, it becomes the norm. Okay, so eventually you are going to find it more natural. All right, you'll even begin to start attracting others who vibrate in a similar frequency. So obviously, as you start to vibrate, shift your energy vibration from something more negative towards something more positive, then you're going to start attracting others that are also doing the same thing or are already at that other frequency. This is now going to lead you to opportunities that you maybe would not have seen before, or maybe wouldn't have had the courage to take before, because you would feel out of sync to that. Now, here's where our power of intention comes into place. Okay? How in the world do you shift your energy from something that's more negative to something that's more positive, particularly when you have other people around you that feel like you've got a great support system? They are also shifting, or they're also at that energy, rather, vibrating at that same frequency as you. And so that gives you legitimacy to both parties. So when I talk about shifting, how in the world are you going to do this? Well, there are lots of different ways for you to do it. Shifting using the power of intention is one of those ways. And this worked really, really well for me. So I'm going to walk you through what I do. Setting your positive intention, great way for you to shift, but you need to make sure that it's positive. And that sounds ridiculous because obviously it's right in the title. However, at first, and you'll see what I mean here, it is more going to be in your way of thinking to put something in more of the negative. You need to first shift that. So for example, rather than saying something like, I will not overreact in bad situations today, you flip it to the positive to say, I will act and react in ways that will serve my higher good. Or I will act and react in positive ways to any situation today. Okay, so see, it's a very subtle difference, but having this term in here, not overreact, saying this is what I'm not going to do. If you're saying this to yourself over and over again, you're going to end up focusing on this part. You're going to focus on the overreaction. That's not what we want. We want to be acting and reacting in ways that will serve my higher good. Okay. Ideally, positive intentions should be set in the morning. And if you can imagine that you're trying to set out intentions for the day, this makes sense. So you can start off your day vibrating at that positive frequency. But it's also ideal if you can reinforce them throughout the day, particularly if you have just found yourself in a negative situation, but anytime in the day that you've got a moment. And this is the difficult part, because it's really easy in the beginning to not have a moment. You have to make the moment. Remember, you are worth the time that this is going to take. So you need to make it. And maybe what that looks like is that every day when you have your lunch, as you are eating that lunch, no matter where that is, even if it's at your desk doing work, you're going to go back over in your mind what those positive intentions are. Okay, you can also set new intentions as the day unfolds. Okay, that's easily done. So giving you some examples of becoming positive. So you can write these down, you can take a screenshot, whatever you like. Some examples that work for me that I do regularly are: I see the beauty in every part of my day, wherever I am and whoever I'm with. I surround myself with positive, supportive, and loving people who mirror my own intentions. I am in control of my actions and reactions. I act and react in ways that will serve my highest good. So that's similar to our example we used first. I will take time to honor myself today. So honor yourself is in many different shapes or forms. For some people that love to read, you'll take time to read a little bit today. If you like to practice yoga, if you like to meditate, if you like to have just a peaceful, quiet time where you can reflect on your day, whatever that is, exercise, whatever. Okay, that honor yourself, you can replace that word and turn it into, I will take time to reflect on my day. I will take time to exercise today. I will take time to read today. I will find humor in my day and appreciate each of those moments. This is one of my favorite ones when I'm really down and stuck. This is one that I find really, really helps me to shift, because as ridiculous as it sounds to say, I'm going to find humor when I'm going through some of my worst experiences. Sometimes I do just find humor in how seriously I'm taking everything, knowing that when I reflect back on something else that's happened in my life and how much effort I gave that at that time when I really didn't have any control over the situation. And then I come back to it a year later, maybe even it's just 6 months later, certainly years later, I can remember how much effort I put into it, how much worry I had, and yet it all worked out in the end, right? So sometimes I look at that in some of my examples of that and allow myself to actually laugh at the amount of stress I'm allowing myself to give to a present situation, if that makes sense. So if we go back to our slides here, I will remain positive today, allowing myself to flourish with positive thoughts and experiences. Another one of my favorites. Okay, so take a screenshot of that, get all of these down in here, and I've got another set of examples for you. Okay, I've got examples for moving forward. So if you're struggling with kind of getting over something, maybe it was a relationship breakdown, or maybe it's a different type of trauma, or even something like abuse. If you're finding that you're stuck in that space and you keep reliving it, these are some of the ones that I would use to get myself through that. So I allow myself to move forward today, and I am open to seeing new ways to do so. And that last part is key, because sometimes, well, most times we just don't know how to move forward. What does that even look like? So for me, the stressor there is that I'm open to seeing new ways to move forward. I'm putting it out there, putting that type of energy out there to say, show me I'm listening. My next one, I feel safe and secure in my life. I will approach new experiences today secure in this knowledge. Okay, so this kind of goes back to my idea of whatever it is that you've gone through in your life, you have survived that already. You have already amazingly gotten through that, however it was that you needed to. And so you should have the safety and the security in knowing that whatever happens in your life, big or small, how difficult it is to get over it, you are going to be able to. You are going to be able to do it. You've done it before and you will do it again. I am a strong, vibrant person who deserves the best life has to offer. And again, I have survived my past and am proud of my accomplishments. I honor these accomplishments and recognize new ones as they occur. So that again is going back hand in hand with taking the time to honor yourself for the things that you have made it through in life. Instead of judging yourself for the things that you're struggling with moving forward on, look at all of the things that you have managed to get through. And then maybe even take some time to look at how you did get through some of those things, and could you put that into this scenario to help yourself. And if you are struggling with that, going back to the first one, I'm open to seeing new ways of moving forward today. And last but not least, I am worthy of success and abundance. And this is a big one. Sometimes you really are not going to feel like you are worthy of anything. But for you to make this your positive intention and say it with conviction and repeat it over and over again in your day, eventually you will start vibrating at a different energy that will allow you to feel worthy. And last but not least, I will recognize opportunities to grow and take them. All right, so there are a good chunk of positive intentions for you. So how are you going to implement these in your day? I want you to set one positive intention in the morning while you are getting ready. We'll build up to this. If you found in the beginning that you could relate to me saying that you can't find any time in your day, then I don't want us to start out with unreasonable expectations. So rather than you sitting and saying, I'm going to meditate a half an hour every morning and I'm going to come up with 20 intentions, let's keep it simple. Let's find one positive intention in the morning while you're getting ready. So if you're a female that does your hair or your makeup or both, you can use that time to set your intention and repeat it over and over. If you're a female that doesn't do your hair, makeup, or you're male, then perfect time would just be in the shower, would be a great opportunity for you to do that. Eventually, I want you to increase this to taking 5 minutes a day for thinking time. So separating yourself from whatever activity you were doing while you were setting the intention. Okay, this is where you're going to consciously think of your positive intention. When you increase to this step is up to you. Okay, you might find for some people, you just need to set your one positive intention in the morning for just a couple of days, and you're ready to shift to having 5 minutes of time. Some others of you might set your positive intention in the morning while you're getting ready for a full month before you're ready. Honor that. There is no right or wrong here. It's when you're ready. Again, shifting energy is uncomfortable. So yes, while taking time is an important thing for you to do and honor, you want to make sure that that's not something that your subconscious is trying to do to sabotage you at the same time. Okay, so just be wary of that. Eventually, we need to upgrade to about 10 minutes of meditation. So thinking time, our previous one, that could take the shape of you still sitting in the same room as your family. 10 minutes of meditation time means that you are going outside of that room, you are having some time for just you, and you are going to think about that positive intention. Meditation is a very difficult thing to do if you're not used to that. So how you can start, if this is you, is you can literally come up with your positive intention and try to just repeat that over and over in your mind. Allow yourself to wander, because again, you are leaving yourself open to suggestion. So, if you have a thought that comes up, that thought might be of a person who can help you, or a place that is a really positive place for you to go and visit and regroup. If it's your grocery list, then your subconscious might be trying to kind of tear you away from what your goal is. And so just honor that, gently remind yourself to come on back and start thinking of your positive intention again. Eventually, what we can do is increase the number of intentions. We don't need to stick with just one. And of course, confirming your intentions throughout that day. Now, can I help you? So this is a lot that we've gone through already. And I know that it can seem really overwhelming, and at the same time, it can seem really exciting. Right? Hopefully what I said to you today makes some sense as far as the vibration of energy, it being uncomfortable. If we go back to our clasping of hands, and again, we shift our fingers, it is still uncomfortable. It's awkward, it's weird, but hopefully you're finding it maybe not quite as awkward and weird as it was the first time that we did it. Okay. So I can help in lots of different ways if you find that you are stuck and needing help is something that you would benefit from. So if you're not quite sure, I offer lots of different ways to help, including courses, workshops similar to this one, but that go on longer and have you do quite a bit of work actually on yourself, and also a mentoring program. So the mentoring program that I offer is a 3-month intensive program where we work. If we've got a group that you are comfortable with, then we have a monthly group chat for 60 minutes. If we don't have a group or you're not comfortable with the group, we just add in additional private mentoring. Bi-weekly 30-minute online private mentoring is obviously where I can get to know you and the issues that you are going through. So whatever it is that has caused you to be stuck in this situation where you are finding it difficult to move forward, or you're finding it difficult to be positive, difficult to shift your energy, then we can work one-on-one to try to figure out where that is stemming from and give you motivation and real life tools that you can use to actually move forward. That also includes bi-weekly distance Reiki healing. If you're not familiar with Reiki, I also am a Reiki master and have been practicing Reiki for nearly 20 years now. And Reiki is a wonderful form of healing through energy. And because it is energy, energy cannot be contained. And so it can be used as a distance healing. It doesn't matter where either of us are in the world. So what this should work out to be is that we have a weekly session of some sort, whether that is a monthly, bi-weekly, private or bi-weekly Reiki session. And these are examples of some of the things that we can do, but of course, it depends on what your particular needs are. So the different programs that I will go through with you during the mentoring include this list: loving yourself, facing your past head on and letting it go, taking a hard look at who you are and deciding if that's who you want to be, discovering what you gain by doing the things that you are doing, redefining yourself by finding all of your positives, decide what you deserve in life, and then recognize the opportunities as they present themselves and having the courage to actually go and grab them. And then a challenge for yourself, similar to the positive intentions challenge, with living your life with purpose. What you get out of this is becoming more positive, having improved relationships, gaining confidence, gaining improved self-esteem, gaining more freedom, recognizing new opportunities and learning to grab hold of them to create your dream life. Basically, being able to get unstuck from whatever the situation is that you are stuck in, being able to be so proud of the life that you have built for yourself, rather than feeling like your life is not living up to expectations. Okay, so I've covered the different types of things that we will do in our monthly and our bi-weekly chats and our distance healing. Our distance healing can be used to ground and support you on your journey, or if there are actual physical, spiritual, or emotional issues that you need to tackle, we can actually send and focus the energy on those types of issues. Our bi-weekly private mentoring really goes in numerous different waves depending on what you need, whether that is dealing with personal struggles, delving deeper into those, setting goals and intentions and tasks to help you move forward to having a life that you deserve. Our group calls don't need to go into detail about what is the issue that people are dealing with. Of course, we always respect people's privacy, but as a way of supporting each other and having some type of support system so that we can actually be proud of each other's accomplishments. It helps us to feel the positivity of moving forward. So that is a lot to take in. I would love to be able to talk to you about this further, find out what is going on with you, if this using positive intentions in real life was helpful for you. So if you would like to chat for free, you can click a link for lifelikeyoumeanit.com, where you will find a link on my website. You can also, there is a link attached to this video for a Calendly event, 15-minute booking that you can just click on and take you right there, and you can choose from any day of the week and several different time slots and just book yourself straight in for a call. I greatly look forward to hearing from you. I truly hope that this was helpful. If you would like to subscribe to my blog and get more information, make sure that you don't miss out on any other workshops that I hold. Just go to lifelikeyoumeanit.com and the subscribe button is right there. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that that helped, and I hope that I will be on a complimentary call with you in the near future. Take care.